going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Monday. Birds are indeed chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. I know that typically people dread Monday. I like Mondays. They're not so bad. I get back in the swing of things, and very lucky to have this side hustle. Thank you, Jerome, for coming about. I'm a lucky man, especially with the season coming up. Where I feel like, obviously we're pretty hyped about the season, but at least it's not like 2011. You know what I mean? Where you're staring down the barrel of an ass season. The Vikings went 3-13 that year. Plus, everyone kind of knew, right? Because even though they drafted Christian Jerome Ponder in the first round, got Rudolph in the second round, chemistry, connection, long time. I mean, Donovan McNabb was here. Like, everyone knew that team was going to be ass. Thank you. Right? And still, we weren't doing the podcast in 2011. We started late in 2013, but it was still, oh, here we go. Oh, gee, Willikers. Oh, go give it the good old try, boys. Come on. And then, bleh, not so much. At least Jared Allen did some work. Good times. So night practice is tonight, Monday, August 4th. And night practice is a lot of fun. Hopefully, weather's going to cooperate. And because you never know in August in the great state of Minnesota, right? It's a family-friendly event, a very low-key, and it's a good memory. It's kind of cool getting out there, and the Vikings chill, lay back, put on a little bit of a show, a lot of 11-on-11, 7-on-7 work, airing things out, playing to the crowd. Everyone gets hyped up. It's good times. Hopefully, Reichard will make his kicks. Otherwise, we may have full-on meltdown. On a night practice, something like that. I don't know Bob Seger's. Plus, this is bad. Like, I need to stop having Rocco do the photoshops, man. That's all. Yeah, but Kevin O'Connell, Dear Diary. Everyone liked the famous Kevin O'Connell guacamole at the potluck, but then they started fighting at training camp. Probably fighting over trying to get the recipe for the O'Connell famous guacamole. The secret ingredient is raisins. Yeah, man. Yeah. But, of course, everyone can't wait to see J.J. McCarthy under the lights. Because, remember, so McCarthy played in the first preseason game, then had routine soreness with the knee, and then was shut down. And originally they had night practice on the 5th, but then they delayed it due to weather. I think it's weather. Yeah, but they delayed it to the 12th. So this is actually McCarthy's first night practice. So under the lights, fans want to see number 9 feeling fine. Plus, we can't overstate the chemistry between 9 and 3. Like, McCarthy and Addison just seem to connect for big-time plays every single day, right? And we talked about it's one of the drawbacks. Because even though Jefferson was present at OTAs and mandatory minicamp, I mean, these training camp reps are really important because right before the season, getting on the same page, chemistry between a quarterback and the receivers, it's paramount, right? And it's nice that McCarthy and Addison are getting in all of these reps possible, because McCarthy talks about more reps is better or something like that. And also with Addison probably facing that 3-game suspension coming on very soon, I mean, any day. I know that the NFL has had stuff going on, but, ideally we'll get word on the suspension sooner rather than later. I mean, it's probably going to happen, right? But getting in these reps, because I love this throw because McCarthy lets this thing fly even before Addison put his foot in the ground and got into his break. Like, this was elite anticipation. Kind of good to see, right? Also, the play of the day on Saturday was McCarthy going in the red zone over the top to Jordan Addison. Also, over Nudie McLaughlin, who actually had decent coverage on this rep. But I love that beating Nudie for a touchdown. Like, that's the high water mark now. Just getting after things. But Addison, I know that Addison isn't eligible for the Earl of Egan or / Mr. Mankato, but he'd be up there. Certainly would be. But the real Earl of Egan is probably Nudie McLaughlin. Like, Nudie, 3 straight practices with a pick. Honestly, if he had, he might have another pick 6 like he did last preseason against the Browns. It would be kind of be beautiful to see, and he'll lock that up. It'll be good. Speaking of Addison, pro persuasion. In 2024, Jordan Addison was targeted 17 times in the red zone. He caught 16 of those passes for 6 touchdowns. All he does is catch touchdowns. That's why he needs to be. right? So he needs to be more of a weapon when he gets back from suspension. I feel it in my bones because, definitely not a fountain of fantasy advice, but I feel like too many people are going to over-index Addison's suspension and also downplay J.J. McCarthy. I think the numbers are going to be there. I feel like Addison might still be in line for a 1,000-yard season, 10 touchdown season, 75 plus catches, even being suspended 3 games. I really do, and it'd be good. Plus, I feel like, so not to tangent off into things, but so gambling and fantasy football, like I obviously partake in both, but how do I say this? Like the influencers or the experts in both industries, they're just salespeople. Like they try to sell you on buying their picks, buying their perspectives, buying everything. I feel like, I don't know, like getting honest, good advice, it's kind of rare out there. Everyone's trying to sell something, so I don't know. Plus, most fantasy advice is like, I told you last year Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be good. Oh, Ray. Oh, really? Good job. Or, I told you about Bucky Irving. Great. So did everyone. Anyways. Beautiful over the weekend. Jared Allen got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I didn't expect to be crying in the club on a Saturday afternoon, but Jared Allen sent me there. And also, a collection of Vikings Hall of Famers at Canton. Beautiful. So, got Ron Yeri, Roland Ron Yeri, great tackle from back in the day for the Vikes. Warren Moon. Warren Moon was the first quarterback I can actually remember. Like I don't really remember Tommy Kramer and stuff because I'm too young for that. But I remember Warren Moon because I remember the graphic novel of the NFL quarterback club, and it was just when Moon got to the Vikings and he was riding a snowmobile and then chucking it to Chris Carter. I don't know why I remember that. It's good stuff. I gotta give me a copy of that. Then also Paul Krause, the unbreakable record, 81 picks. Woo, let's go. Randall McDaniel cruising down the street in my 6'4". Jared Allen, as well as jumping John Randall. Oh, sorry, a fan in between the two Randalls. Yeah, but also, so John Randall, I believe, undrafted 1990, and then Randall McDaniel, first round pick out of Arizona State, 1988. Just imagine those practices in the mid 90s, man. Just every single day, Hall of Fame versus Hall of Fame, every single rep making each other better. It's good stuff, man. All right. And then John Randall played a lot of left defensive end towards the end of his Vikings career. Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdowns. Steve Hutchinson, looking like a crooked small town sheriff. Yeah. And then also the coach, Tony Dungy, former great defensive coordinator for the Vikings under Denny Green. Woo! That's a collection. That's a great photo right there, man. Pretty fantastic. Also fantastic is I like when the Vikings bring out guests, coaches for the other Minnesota sports teams. So new Gophers basketball head coach Nico Medved is on the sidelines. Just Frigga Jefferson out there is Jefferson's like, hey, I got one more year of eligibility. I could light things up for the Gophers. I don't know. Also, here's Jefferson is barely 6'1". He's 6'1" and an eighth, or no, it might be 2/8 from his combine. Can't remember. But, I mean, I understand that, basketball is basketball. Maybe Nico Medved was a guard or something, but he looks 5'4", doesn't he? I don't know, man. Plus, Nico Medved sounds like a hockey coach or like a Soviet defector. Nico Medved sold out Mother Russia to the American capitalist pigs. That's Vidania or something. I don't know. But anyways, you'll have to see that, right? Also, so I love and respect Stephon Gilmore, but I have no interest in running it back, right? And then Ben Gessling, Star Tribune, was just like, okay, Vikes fan page put this together. It could be him, Gilmore. I would not be surprised at all if they added somebody at that position. No. I'm just not into it, man, because I know that Gilmore's a name. I know that Gilmore is probably going to be Hall of Famer. I know that Gilmore is 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. Know all of that. Last year he was fine, but he really faded towards the end of the season, right? And I don't know, 59.2 PFF coverage grade. I gave up 5 touchdowns, had a 99.8 quarterback rating when thrown at, which is not Just not good. Also, 87 targets last year. He only played 904 snaps. I mean, quarterbacks are just not afraid of him. Like, we're not scared about going after him. Plus, at his age, sort of limited the amount of man-to-man that Flores could play. Had to play a lot of zone. So, I don't know. I know that Gilmore's talked about playing this year. I think that he will get a job somewhere, but I just don't see it. Honestly, I would rather see... well, not even honestly rather say. So Rodgers, Okudah, and Murph, I feel like are 1, 2, 3 locked in. Nudie has had himself a phenomenal camp. He's cemented as cornerback 4. Blackman is cornerback 5. I feel like even guys like Khalif Halassi has had a great camp as well. Zamiah Vaughn, the undrafted free agent from Utah, definitely want to kick the tires on him. Tavier Thomas is going to make the roster as more of a special teamer. So, I mean, the Vikings cornerback room is at least 6. You can make a case maybe 7, depending on how you see Thomas, deep. So I don't know. Like, I just, frankly, I just don't see it. You know? And I love and respect Gilly, but not this year. Right. Also, so position of contention through camp so far. Again, it's early. But Sam Howell has not taken care of the football, made some bad decisions. Brett Rippon-Ass has been getting more second-team reps when it was mostly Howell early on. So it seems like we have legitimate quarterback controversy for quarterback 2, right? And as we've seen in recent years, I mean, knocking on all the wood, obviously McCarthy is the guy and hopefully healthy and good to go, but you can't have one play derail this entire season, right? And do you feel confident in Howell or Rippon right now? No. I feel like Howell has a higher ceiling, but also he's got a way lower floor than Rippon. You know what I mean? And long story longer, Gessling again. Vikes fan page. Ben Gessling on Kirk Cousins being an option. The highly paid, highly compensated backup quarterback for the hot Atlanta Falcons. I don't think it's impossible. There's still a good relationship there between Kirk Cousins and Kevin O'Connell. Everybody would have to be on the same page about what the roles are, what expectations are. That would be the biggest hurdle. Well, a couple things here. Number one, I'm not paying the full salary. No, F that noise. Falcons got to pick up the bulk of the tab. That's fine. Number two, you're not trading a lot. You know, I think at most it's a late round draft pick swap, like a 5th for a 6th, 5th for a 7th, somewhere in there. All right. Number three, roles are important. So this is a nice thing. I feel like at Kurt's age at 37, still coming off the Achilles, especially given how he played last year, got benched, I don't see a locker room schism happening. I feel like everyone on this team is Team McCarthy, and even with Kurt coming back in, where Kurt was a starter here for a couple of years with some of these veterans, I don't see a locker room split. I just don't. So under those parameters, fine, but you're not moving a high draft pick or even a mid draft pick. You're not paying most of the money. You're not doing. Also, you'd have to talk about the $10 million he has guaranteed in 2026. So, I don't know. Like, honestly, if you can make it cheap, fine. But I don't know if the Falcons will go for it. I don't know if Kurt will go for it. Remember, he still has a no-trade clause that he would have to waive. So, I don't know. But also, the dark horse in this, come on down, Brosmer. Let's go, man. Like, honestly, all of this talk about Kirk Cousins, all this talk about Howell and Rippon-Ass, I mean, that could be put to bed if Howell comes out tonight and just lights it up, which he certainly could. Where, yeah, he's playing with the 3s and the 4s, but also he's playing against 3s and 4s, right? So Brosmer comes out, lights things up, and we've seen players in training camp really start making waves, right? Just lighting things up in night practice and preseason. Kyle Sluter, Taylor Heineke, Jake Browning when he was the only quarterback available because of the Rona, that weird season. But overall, and then he got cut that same year. It's weird. Some people can't handle success, but Brosmer, honestly, if Brosmer shows up and shows out in night practice, the 3 preseason games, which he'll get some run, and as well as the joint practices with the Patriots, I consider giving him the quarterback 2 job. Really. Honestly. Let's go. Damn the torpedoes. I don't know, pick up jumping Jaron Hall, the Mormon Missile or something. That's quarterback 3. Go ahead. Lastly, So immaculate grid over a Pro Football Reference. So with the grid, you got to find a player that has played actual regular season or playoff snaps with the two teams, or sometimes they have categories like a Texans player and also 1,000+ rushing yards in a season, all that stuff. It's fun. It's definitely a game catered towards nerds, and I love when the Vikings are on the list because go deep, right? Because you get more points the more obscure player that you get, but also you got to be careful. A player could be on a team, sure, but if they don't have any regular season snaps, they don't count, right? And Sunday's one was good. So Chris Boyd, 0.08. We got the Wes Phillips action on here. JEROME should do. Vikings, Bears, 0.9. Vikings, Bills, we got Latavius Murray, recently retired. The pride of Central Florida, respect. So not gonna lie, I couldn't think of one for the Bills and 49ers. Oh, wait, I could have said O.J. Simpson. Damn it. But the one I thought of was Frank Gore, but I accidentally picked Frank Gore Jr., so that's why I didn't get credit. I mean, Frank Gore probably would have been a pretty popular one, probably like 40%, so whatever. But the Texans and Cardinals, I got Nuke. Texans and Bears, sexy Rexy Grossman. Texans and Bills, got Case Keenum, just in case, right? Minneapolis Miracle Man, I love it. 49ers and Cardinals, Mike Iupati, who also, as you see, was with the Seahawks. Kind of funny. And then 49ers and the Bears, Rick Meyer. Remember, he was drafted out of Notre Dame. He was supposed to be the cat's ass with the Seattle Seahawks. Nope. Not so much. But again, I love when the Vikings are on here because we can go obscure. Yeah, we can go deep. We can do all that stuff. It's going to be good. Anyways, that's it. Night practice tonight. Enjoy yourself if you're headed out, and we'll be here. You want us on this wall. You need us on this wall. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull, production value.